Hello, everyone. My name is Eva Mandujano. When it came down to selecting our celebration, we decided to look at all of our questionnaires and surveys from the families in our classroom. And we saw the majority of them were actually familiar with this holiday, Easter. Some of them celebrated it religiously, while others chose more of the Easter egg hunt routes. And some of them did both. So ultimately, we decided on Easter as our holiday celebration. Now, we want to ensure that our activities stay within the anti-bias classroom environment. When celebrating Easter in the classroom, we want to keep the importance of Easter, but without it getting in the way of anybody's own beliefs or their way of celebrating the holiday. Some activities may be purely informational, while others only have the materials to tie everything together.
Hello everyone, my name is Valeria Ramirez, and as we all know, we've been going over a very important holiday known as Easter. Now, for our language and literacy portion of these activities, we are going to be doing an Easter word search. Now, before I get into the activity, you're going to need a copy of the word search that I have printed and passed out to all of you guys. And we are going to be needing a pencil and some crayons. Remember, the crayons we can only use at the end once we have found all the words. Now, before I get into the activity, I would like to start off with some questions. The first question being, what and when is Easter? Now remember, these questions are questions I just want you guys to think about. Don't have to give me an answer, just think about them. Our next question is, how do different people celebrate Easter? So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to think about those questions, guys, and then we can get right into the activity. So first, we are going to go over each word that we are going to be looking for. I'm going to say the word, and you guys are going to repeat after me. And also, I will be explaining the definition of each word that we are looking for. Our first word being Easter. Easter. Easter is a holiday celebrating Jesus Christ's return from being dead. It is held during spring, every Sunday, and some families do choose to have an egg hunt. The next word is eggs. Eggs can be defined as a white shell that contains an animal, or also you can think of eggs as the eggs that you cook up and eat. Our next word is basket. Basket is a container that helps us hold lots of items at once. Our next word is spring. Spring is a season of the year. We have summer, winter, fall, and we have spring. Then our next word is bunny. Bunny is a small animal with fur that hops and likes to eat carrots. Our next word is hunt. Hunt can be defined as to search for someone or something. And our last word, hop. Hop can be defined as a short, quick jump. Now that we have gone over all of our words, we are going to be looking for our words in the word search. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to work on this activity. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to keep working on it, walking around. I'm going to be looking over at some papers, and once we have completed this, we are going to be able to use the crayons, and we are going to be able to color around our egg or color the little pictures. We have a basket, a bunny, and a chick. We are going to be able to color that once we have found all the words. But now that we have gone over very important vocabulary words, we can dive deeper into some delicious activities. So who's ready for an Easter treat? Thank you for your time, guys.
Hi, my name is Michelle Robinson, and I am a part of Group 5 for the Anti-Bias Holiday Celebration assignment. These holiday celebration that we chose as a group was Easter. This lesson respects all traditions and invites children to share what is special about their own family celebrations, reinforcing that every tradition is valuable. My portion of the lesson plan is the cooking portion. I found that the sensory-rich experiences of mixing and decorating treats is engaging for preschoolers. They love to get their hands dirty. They like to feel different textures. So with this cooking lesson plan, I'm moving forward with, I hope to focus on creative play, language growth, and understanding the differences of each way each child celebrates the Easter holiday. My learning goals in my lesson plan would be for the classroom as a whole to understand that a celebration could look different for everyone. We are also going to learn to use new vocabulary with the words tradition and inclusive in a fun, concrete way. We're going to be practicing measuring, mixing, decorating, and strengthening the fine motor skills. We're also going to build a respectful classroom community by sharing and discussing our personal traditions. I believe that the Easter celebration connects to the anti-bias goals. This activity supports building identity, recognizing and respecting differences, and creating an environment where every child feels welcome and valued. The following would be my opening statement and setting the stage for my procedures. It will go as follows. Hello friends, today we're going to have a super fun time making our very own spring treats. Look at all the bright, colorful ingredients. They remind me of spring and all the wonderful families celebrating. Some families celebrate Easter as something very sacred, and others may have their own special traditions. Every celebration is special, and today we're going to mix, stir, and decorate while we share stories about what makes our families unique. This engaging, developmentally appropriate statement sets the stage by highlighting sensory details, using inclusive language, and inviting the children to connect their own experience to the celebration. The next step will be our middle procedures. This is the step-by-step activity with open-ended questions and vocabulary. I'm going to gather all the children around the table where all the materials are displayed. I'm going to move forward by saying, look at all the colorful bows and sprinkles. Every color tells a story, just as every family has its own way of celebrating. Can you tell me what your favorite color is today? How do you celebrate something special at home? I'm going to move forward with introducing vocabulary. The first vocabulary word we're going to introduce is tradition. A tradition is something fun and special that we do every year on special days. The second vocabulary word I'm going to introduce is inclusive. Inclusive means everyone is welcome to join in on the fun. Next is my open-ended prompt. What do you think will happen when our different ingredients mix together? How is that like different families sharing their special celebrations? Next, I'm going to move forward with mixing and measuring the ingredients. Here are all the ingredients that we're going to be using. We're going to be using different color writing gels, cookie icing. We have our measuring cups to measure out the sprinkles. We have our different color sprinkles. I've already taken the initiative to place all the different colors in these cups right here for our students to use. We are going to need a spatula for each child so that they can spread their icing. Each child will be given Rice Krispie treat to do their spring treat on. This is their blank canvas. And for cleanup, I have napkins, and then I also have Lysol wipes to clean our surface once we're done. Each child would also be given an apron to protect their clothes so they don't get any mess on it. First, I'm going to have the children put their aprons on as such. Let's see. And then I'm going to have each student wash their hands. We want to make sure our hands are clean. Next, I'm going to guide each child on helping them measuring out their sprinkles, whatever color sprinkles that they want. And this is going to be the base of our spring treat, along with their Rice Krispies. Watch as we measure and mix the ingredients. Just like the ingredients add something unique to our treat, every tradition adds something special to our classroom. What do you notice about the way these colors are blending? How might this remind you of different celebrations coming together? This is one being measured out. We also have another being measured out. Now we're going to start decorating our treats. I am going to go ahead and start distributing our pre-made treats bases along with the bowls of colored icing as well as the sprinkles. And we're going to get our hands dirty and have some fun. I'm taking the liberty of doing an example treat. This is my example treat. It symbolizes the grass with the green sprinkles. And then I have the little flowers because it's springtime. After distributing all the treat bases and the sprinkles and all of the necessary materials to each student in the class, I'm going to come back around and say, friends, now it's your turn to decorate. Use these icing colors and these sprinkles to make a treat that is as special as the celebration in your family. What shapes or patterns feel unique to you? Remember, friends, every decoration that you choose is a part of your own tradition. Next, I'm going to follow up with an embedded open-ended question. What colors and shape best show a celebration that makes you feel happy and loved? Can you share a special memory from a family celebration that makes you smile? Moving on, I am going to allow the students to share and we're going to reflect on the decorations that we have placed on the pre-made treats. And I'm going to allow them to all share and look at all their creations. I'm then going to address the class after we finish decorating and let them know and see all of the treats that they have done. Look at all these amazing creations. Each creation is as unique as your own family tradition. Who can remind us of what tradition means? And what does being inclusive look like in our classroom, friends? Let's celebrate how every decoration and every story makes our group extra special. Next, I'm going to move into the ending portion of our procedures. This includes our summary, our cleanup, and our transition. Today, we discovered that tradition comes in many beautiful forms. By mixing and decorating our treats, we learned that every family way of celebrating is important. Just like every ingredient makes our treat yummy and unique. I'm going to follow up with our cleanup instructions. Now, friends, let's work together like a big team. Please put your tools away, wipe down your table, and help clean up any spills that may have happened during our activity. Working together as a team makes our space safe and neat. Be careful as you clean and move around. Let's all look out for each other. Great job, everyone. I love seeing all of your unique creations. Your treats show how every celebration adds a special flavor to our classroom. Now that we've tasted our treats and cleaned up our spaces and made them tidy, let's gather for our story circle. We're going to listen to a story about a friendly Easter bunny and learn more about celebrating different traditions. Let's go, friends. Next, I'm going to move into the teacher language interaction. Number 1 will be an open-ended question. Hi, friends. What color and shapes do you think represents a celebration in your family, and why? Next will be my diversion question. Can you share a time or memory when your family's celebration made you feel extra special and happy? What made that day so unique to you? Next, I'm going to be moving into my vocabulary words. The first one will be tradition. The kid-friendly definition of tradition is a special thing or fun activity that we do every year or on a special day. The next word will be inclusive. The child-friendly definition of inclusive is inclusive means everybody gets to join in on the fun, no matter how different we are. Next, I will be going into our material list. The material list is as follows. We have our pre-made treat base, which is the Rice Krispie treat. The second thing on our material list would be our child-safe mixing bowls for mixing ingredients. So these are made of silicone plastic. Okay. Number 3 would be our measuring cups. These are our measuring cups, which is being used for guiding measurements and mixing. Next on our material list would be our sprinkles. These are our different color sprinkles. This will help the kids identify their colors. And also, we have edible writing gels in different colors as well. Next would be our icing. Each child will be given an apron. Next will be our cleaning supplies. We have one roll of paper towels and some Lysol wipes to clean our surface. And lastly, we have our bowl. We can put our dirty utensils in that we use throughout our project. So we'll bring this around the classroom so all the children can put their dirty utensils in. Next, I'm going to go ahead and list our adaptations for inclusion. Fine motor skills inclusion. I'm going to provide largely designed utensils and pre-cut ingredients to support children with fine motor challenges. For food allergies and dietary restrictions, I'm going to offer non-food alternatives, such as decorating egg cutouts with stickers and markers so every child can participate in the activity. For English language learners, I'm going to use clear visual aids and pictorial flashcards for vocabulary and ingredients, and also provide one-on-one guidance if needed. For those students who have sensory sensitivity, I'm going to offer alternatives to overly textured sprinkles, such as softer edible paste, and allow children to take sensory breaks if needed. Inclusion for communication, I will employ simple, clear language with visual demonstrations and ensure extra adult support is available for children needing additional guidance. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Yvette and I will be going over the Creative Arts Development Activity, which is called Easter Egg Stamp Painting. So first, I wanted to talk about the teacher language interactions I had with the children during this activity, and it would include 3 questions actually. So the first one is, how do you design spring? This is just to get their minds working and figure out, what does that mean? Second question is, how did you make that pattern, or what pattern did you make, more likely? What pattern did you make? Also, children at this age of 3 to 5 years old don't really understand what the word pattern is. And it's fun to see them learn a new word and just go out into nature and just look for all these kinds of patterns that they missed before. And the third question is, how did you make that color? When working with children, I find that they often create their own color and they discover it on their own, which is just amazing. Some of the vocabulary words that I included and wanted to make sure the children learned were spring, stamp, pattern, design, and artwork. Now, for the children, these would look or be defined as the first one, spring, which is when the flowers wake up and when you start to see bright colors. I feel like that would be the easiest way for them to understand. The second one being stamp, which means pushing down hard on a paper. The second one would be stamp, which means pushing down hard on a paper. Third one would be pattern, which means many of the same shape to make a picture. The fourth one is design, drawing something new. And the fifth one being artwork, which means working very hard on something you created. Some of the vocabulary words I included and wanted the children to learn were the first one, spring, when the flowers wake up and you get to see really bright colors everywhere. The second one being stamp, when you push down really hard. Pattern would be when you see the same shape over and over again to create a picture. Design is drawing something new. And then the fifth one being artwork, which is working really hard on something like a painting or a drawing. So, of course, throughout this plan or activity, you would need materials to work with, especially paint. So, some of the paint that I included in the materials was washable paint, exactly 4 washable paints: blue, pink, green, and yellow. And of course, I made sure to get Easter eggs, the little plastic Easter eggs that you usually find on a hunt. We don't necessarily have to call them Easter eggs in this point, they were just eggs that crack open. So you would have to use, I guess, 2 halves of each color of the same color according to the paint. Other materials that I used were 4 flat art/activity trays and 4 smaller trays, specifically white trays, so that the color would bounce off of it, specifically for the paint. And of course, the last material being a 1 black marker or Sharpie, so I could write the names of the children and the date on the back to make sure that we all know that that is their art and it doesn't get confused with anyone else's. And of course, I almost forgot, we would also need about 8.5 times 11 inches of cardstock paper, blank cardstock paper, for at least 10 children, usually 2 per children, because we all know children like to get to paint and just use lots of colors. In order to recap the activity, I would ask the children, how do you feel about Easter after painting? Or why did it make you feel like that? And this could go either way. Maybe they didn't really get Easter from it. Maybe they did after going to a different activity. Either way, this is the question I would use to recap my activity in particular. Now, in order to transition them and, make sure they clean up after themselves and make sure that they know that they are done and to let the teacher know that they are done, I would ask them specifically, are you done? And can you please place your artwork on the drying rack so that it's safe? And I would say thank you. And well, guess what's next? What other activities we have? This is just to create a little bit of anticipation. And of course, we need to be excited for our own activities because we want to support our fellow teachers. Now, in order to transition them smoothly onto the next activity, I would say, oh, are you done here? Okay, if you're done, please place your artwork on the drying rack. Thank you. Well, now guess what other activities we have? We also have cooking, music, and story time. Why don't you bunny hop on over to the next activity? Now, of course, we also need to include some adaptations for children who might not be able to grip onto or grasp onto the eggshell half, the top of the eggshell half. For some children, it might be easier from others. It might not be as easy, and it might be a little bit of a struggle if they can't do it. And of course, we want to make sure that everybody feels welcome here and that they all know that they can do the activity, regardless of their abilities. So one modification that I came up with is a putting Velcro strip on the top of the egg half and then having the child wear a mitten so that it's an easy slip on, slip off situation where they can just put it on the mitten, then just put their hand on top of put their hand or arm on top of the egg, and the Velcro would attach itself to the mitten. It'll be easier for the children to pick it up since the egg half is already light enough because it's just very thin plastic. It'll be easy for them to continue stamping and join the activity and not feel excluded because, of course, we do not want that in our classroom. Thank you so much for listening. And now let's bunny hop on over to our next activity.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashanti Wamuch, and the curriculum area I chose to do was music and movement. And the holiday we all chose as a group was Easter. We chose and we decided to do Easter as our holiday because all of our families had that holiday when we did the surveys. So I will start off with trying to gather all my kids into a circle. So we will be basically doing circle time. So I'll start off with friends. Look at this basket full of sounds and colors. What do you see? These eggs aren't just for hiding. They can sing and dance too. Today we're going to use our bodies and voices to celebrate spring and Easter, just like our families do, with music, dancing, and joy. Are you guys ready to hop like bunnies and shake your eggs and celebrate with sound and movements? Then I will introduce the instruments. So I will start off like, let's take a turn choosing an instrument from the basket. What sound does your egg make? Can you shake it fast or can you shake it slow? What type of sound does it make? So our vocabulary word will be like rhythm. Rhythm is how the beat of your music goes, like a heartbeat or the sound of your egg shaking. Then I will have an Easter song playing in the background, like very soft with instruments and etc. So the song will go, when I sing, hop like the little bunny. You hop. Can your bunny hop slowly? Now fast. So I will encourage my children to use different type of moves in ways their bodies feel comfortable of moving. Then I will ask a question and it will be, what does your bunny like to do when it hears music? And then our vocabulary word will be celebrate. Celebrate means doing something special together that makes us feel happy or thankful. Then I would introduce family celebration elements. So I would show pictures to my children of people celebrating Easter in different ways with like an egg hunt, music, how they dress up, how they go to church, and etc. So then I'll be like, some families like Kingston's and Blair's celebrate Easter with special food, music, or church. What does your family like to do? What is some special things they do? So another question would be, if you were planning a celebration, what would you add to it? So my children will be in a circle. Then we would make a line and take turns leading a short musical parade using their instruments. So each one will make a different sound. We would go through each children. And we will also encourage all children to create a rhythm pattern for others to follow. So they will start and then the other kids will follow. So the summary would be, we all heard all kinds of sounds today. Egg shakers, bells, claps, and hops. You all did a wonderful job today, celebrating with movements and sounds. We learned how music helps us feel joy during holidays like Easter. So let's gently put our instruments back in the Easter basket. Say thank you to your instruments for helping you make music today. In a minute, we'll start putting everything away and move to a story time.
Ooh.
What a fun celebration. You made the music and you made it special. Now that our bunnies are tired, let's hop quietly over to the rug for a story about springtime. Some teacher interactions we would have would be, what do you think your egg would sound like if it was dancing? How can you use our bodies to show how it feels to celebrate something special? Some of the vocabularies was celebrate and rhythm. Celebrate means to do something special that makes us happy, like singing, dancing, or having a party. Rhythm is a pattern of sounds or beats, like the way we clap or shake our eggs. Materials that will be involved would be plastic egg shakers, bells, colorful scarves, Bluetooth speaker, CD player, photos of Easter celebrations, picture books about spring or Easter. Now the transition was, let's all take one more hop together, then tippy-toe to the rug like quiet little bunnies to listen to our next story. So if some of the kids have disabilities or anything, to modify some of these things, I would provide seat options for dancing or music making with scarves for waving, lap held shakers. Sensory, I will offer noises like noise reduced instruments like soft shakers, and allow children to wear headphones or sit slightly apart from the group. Language delays, I would show visual clues like hop, shake, clap, repeat, like some of the repeat phrases. And then social emotional, I will provide a quiet space for children who need a break and use social stories or visuals to preview the activity. So this was my lesson plan, and I hope you guys all liked it. And yes.